Hello, guys, and yes, it has been a while, and welcome to this this stream. Today, it's all about Toy Story 4, and why am I laughing? I don't know why. I always laugh. Anyway, so on June the 21st, this is the first time I went to see a movie on its premiere. I went to see Toy Story 4. I was very excited for it, nervous, of course, because when you think to the ending of Toy Story 3, you would think that'd be the perfect end. And I sort of had thoughts in my head: was Toy Story 4 just for money, for Pixar to keep spinning the franchise? But I saw the movie. Well, I can't quite decide whether I liked it or disliked it. Now, this does contain spoilers. So if you've not seen the movie yet, or yeah, if you've not seen the movie, yeah, this is not the video for you. So there will be spoilers in this. So yeah, this is just me sort of sharing my thoughts. Yeah. Now, Toy Story 4, of course, if as you may know, Toy Story 4 has not had an easy in production. I mean, Toy Story 4, they had to throw 3/4 of the script. If you remember when we talked about it in our last stream, there was an interview with Annie Potts, the voice of Bo Peep, and she said they've thrown out 70. Let's see, I think it was 3/4 of the script out. Now the
I heard Mark Kermode's film review and he didn't like it at all. He said it showed that throwing away 4 scripts has really not helped at all.
Yes, and the reason why they've had to throw the script was, well, you see, first they hired Radisha Jones, who's an actress, and Will McCormack, her partner. Now they were brought on to provide some romance and comedy, but they had a big falling out with Pixar, so
that was it.
They left.
That was it for them.
Yes, and then they hired Stephanie Falsom, who's wrote various films for Disney. She rewrote the script alongside Andrew Stanton. You know, the last of the remaining old guard of Pixar. Well, no, actually, there's Pete Docter. But yeah. Now, I have to say that one of the things that did annoy me about seeing the film, the toys such as Slinky, Rex, Mr. Potato Head were all pushed to the side. There wasn't very much of them at all. They were mostly just stuck in the RV truck, which it's annoying me because Mr. Potato Head, you know, he's the character that's had most of the funniest lines, you know, in Toy Story, like the "Hey Ham, look, I'm Picasso," you know, a joke which took me quite a few years to actually get, because of course Pablo Picasso's paintings are like the potato, not the potato, but the disfigured face. Now, obviously, it seems to me that Mr. Potato Head didn't have lines, of course, because of Don Rickles' passing. It is rather interesting because they said they used archived audio, and they did, but it didn't seem really worth it, really, because if Mr. Potato Head wasn't going to be much of the story, I don't really see. I don't think it was worth them going through the effort of splicing archived material and reusing it, because it just, for me, wasn't really worth it. Because Mr. Potato Head literally He's not even an important character of the story. And even Jessie, I mean, she's pushed to the side as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, because as we know, the original script had she and Buzz getting married.
Well, yes, that was supposed to happen, but of course, I don't remember. Apparently, right, the first thing John Lasseter said when he announced it, it would be a story of Woody and Bo's love, I think, inspired by him and his wife. But obviously, yeah, since John, of course, took a sabbatical for 6 months and then left Disney. Well,
and then the whole Weinstein stuff.
Yes, but we're not going into that, of course. But yes, things changed. But what I'm happy about, it sounds like that pretty much the majority of the story is still the same. I mean, because John did say that about Woody and Bo, and of course that turned out to be true. Yeah. Here we go. Yes. So, yeah, Stephanie Folsom and rewriting 3/4 of the original script, which was Jones and McCormack. So yeah, 3/4 of the script, and I'm just wondering if the original script had more of Jesse, Slinky, and all the gang, because I really missed it, especially Rex. Rex is always the funny one, like, but I don't want to lose, but I don't want to use my head. You know, in Toy Story 2, when doing the Buzz Lightyear video game, you know, he's turned out to be one of the most funniest characters, and yet you wouldn't even think Rex is even there because they all just seem to be completely useless, really. So yeah, that was very disappointing. And of course, the ending really shocked me, because of course there were rumors that Woody was going to leave Buzz and all the other gang behind and go.
Yeah, it was like Leonard Nimoy and Paramount wanting to kill Spock off. There was rumors going on. Oh.
No, he did not die. He didn't die at all.
No. What I mean is, it was like it, where there was rumors that she was going to be Buzz, blah 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 blah.
Oh yes. So.
Like what Paramount did with.
Yes.
With Wrath of Khan.
Yes, I suppose you could say that. Now, of course, there was rumors that Woody and Bo were going to go separate and eventually leave Buzz and the gang, and they'd all go their separate ways. But I thought Pixar would have to be pretty bold to do that. I can't imagine them doing that.
They did.
Yes, when I saw the film, I have to praise them for it, because that was they took a massive risk. And yes, I'm sure there's lots of Toy Story fans who can't stand it because it wouldn't be in Woody's character, it'd be in his character to always return to his kids. That's Bonnie or Andy. But while I do agree with them, if Bo and Woody both return to Bonnie, then it would just be a cycle again, wouldn't it? You know, you had Toy Story to Toy Story 3, Woody was with Andy, and then, of course, he gave them to Bonnie. Bo was sold, and so I think for them to go back to Bonnie, that would have just been the same ending again. They did something unpredictable. They did something really bold, and I have to applaud, you know, particularly Josh Cooley. Now, let's just remember something here, and this has been made in the film reviews. Josh Cooley had never directed a theatrical length film. Okay, yeah, he had never. So he had never directed a full length feature film. Okay, but and to give him to give him the reins of one of the sequel to a very popular franchise is a huge risk, considering a guy who's never directed a feature-length film, never mind the Toy Story films. But obviously they trusted him with it, and I have to praise Josh for...
Do you think... I listened to Mark Conan. I haven't watched it, and I'm not going to. Do you think Mark was right in saying that Toy Story 4 is ruined by the three script changes?
I don't know, because obviously we haven't seen the original script that Radasha Jones and Will McCormick. It'll be locked in Disney's vaults, probably.
Cusack's locker, probably.
Yes, probably. But
hasn't Tom and Joan basically said to the press on the red carpet that there's not going to be another one?
Well, that's really interesting because
Tim Allen didn't say anything, but Tom and Joan both said that they're not coming back. So.
Toy Story 3 to me, of course, at the time it didn't. I was like saying, right, that was Toy Story 3. Come on, let's have Toy Story 4. But after seeing the end of Toy Story 4, I was like, no, stop here now. Because, look, imagine if they get to Toy Story 10, it would start to become a little stupid, wouldn't it? I think.
Yeah, this is not like the Star Wars franchise where it needs like 6 films to...
Yes, exactly. And the ending of Toy Story 4, to me, seems to have completely make a Toy Story 5 impossible, because how would Woody and Buzz's paths cross again? How?
That's the thing. They have to end it. They have to end it because Tom and Joan has definitely said they're not going back. So
yeah,
that's the end for them.
Yes, and yeah, there are many reasons why.
Basically, there's many reasons. How much do you think the Weinstein scandal got him?
Marcus, we're not going to talk about that.
No, I mean, got involved in the scripts and the delays there.
Well, obviously, John Lasseter going can't have helped, but I think.
Okay, he went in the middle of that, didn't he, when that all broke out? So.
Yes. I think the majority of Toy Story 4, to me, though, was possibly it was possibly the same story. I can't imagine they'd completely, just tweak all of it.
Well, it looked like to me that it had been tampered with, possibly because of the script changes, but possibly because of Weinstein.
Well, who knows?
I'm only just putting it out there because it looked like it was tampered with what Mark was saying.
Well, yes. I think that Toy Story, if they were to make a Toy Story 5, they would either have to do a film without Woody, which is unthinkable.
Yeah, well, Tom and Joan have already said they're not going to do it, so basically that's Woody and Jessie out of the equation.
Yes. So would it then go to like Buzz and the gang? But to be honest, I don't want a Toy Story 5. When I saw Toy Story 3
it's the end for it, because basically the kids that the people who were around when Toy Story 1 happened, first Toy Story, are all in their mid to late mid-20s now. So
well, yes.
Basically, and it's hard now with the era of social media.
Well, yes.
Youngsters, to see what youngsters are up to now. They're not going to want to know what Toy Story 4. I mean, let's face it. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. I've said this.
Well, they're certainly getting on a bit, aren't they?
I'm coming towards the end of their twilight years of their career, not.
Well, yes, but I'm sure they'll continue to act and stuff. I mean, I can't.
Basically, what we're saying is it's the end of that.
Yes, I think. Yeah, see, Toy Story 5 to me, I think it would either have to be just focused on Woody and Bo and the new gang, but not have Buzz and the other toys, or it would not have Woody and that gang, and it would just have Buzz and what were Andy's toys, basically. And to me, I couldn't imagine them doing that. A film without Woody or Buzz. It just doesn't seem to me that would be a very, very good idea at all. So I think there are many reasons why I don't want them to make a Toy Story 5. One, because the actors are getting on a bit. Two, because the ending, it's pretty much, the ending has ruined any chance, really, realistic chance. You know, I mean, because you've separated Woody and Buzz, you've kept Woody with Bo. How are you going to get them back together? It just seems to me that it's how they're going to get that out if they are ever to make a Toy Story 5, which I pray to the gods they're not. They've made it very tricky for themselves.
Yes, I have.
Yes. So one the cast to get.
And I think Pixar need to have a long look at themselves because basically they're not in a good place at the moment.
Well, no, because I mean Pixar.
They're not in a good place at the moment because that was a because I've seen some of the clips on YouTube. That was a shambles.
What's that?
Some of the clips from the movies have come out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's just an absolute shambles.
Yeah.
It's an absolute shambles. It's been tainted with too much. It's been too many people involved in the decision making. Too many scripts decisions. Go with the one script and go with.
Well, yeah, and
I mean, why cut out in the original script? Would you put Buzz and Jesse's wedding, then getting married and having a Toy Story wedding, and then all of a sudden take that script away, throw that in the shredder, and then end up with, because that's the problem. It's like with sport. There's too many people involved in the decision making.
Was there ever even in the? Because I've not heard any person at Pixar ever.
Apparently it was.
Right, I see. Because I've not heard any.
Tim hinted it back in 2011.
Oh right.
When the first scripts came out, the very first draft that he got.
Right. Well, I see. Well.
And that was dated back in late June of 2011.
Yeah. Well, we shall.
So basically, who knows how many scripts they've gone through in that 8-year period.
Yes, exactly. I mean, because it's not had an easy production at all. I mean, because Pixar, like you said, they've lost John Lasseter, Edwin Cutmore, one of their founders.
Sorry, Will. How many scripts do you think they've gone through since 20?
Well, obviously, this is what Stephanie Falson, the screenwriter who came to rewrite the script, said. Andrew Stanton came up with a treatment. Now, a treatment is what you have before you have a fully fledged script. So Andrew Stanton wrote a treatment, and apparently he'd been planning it after Toy Story 3, but not even telling the people at Pixar. He wanted to keep it really secret, but he had been working on this treatment.
So you're saying that Andrew's script was being lent out to Tom and Tim back in June 2011?
Well, Andrew's treatment, and then obviously they hired Radisha Jones and Will McCormack, of course. And then, of course, they left due to differences with Pixar. And then they had Stephanie Falson, which for 3/4 of the script, and this is what we've got, basically. One thing that I did think about when I was seeing Toy Story 4 is it seemed to me like old ideas just recycled. I mean, Forky not accepting that he's not a toy. That's just like exactly what Buzz had in the first film. And not only that, but the antique shop with collector's items was recycled like the whole Woody's Roundup thing from Toy Story 2. So really, it did it.
Why recycle that?
Well, yeah, exactly. It did not feel much like a new idea at all. It just like some of the best bits of the previous Toy Story films mixed into, well, this really, and possibly, if ever the original script is put on auction, I would love to read it and see what could have been what Toy Story 4 was. But yeah, that was the one thing that was one thing that I was thinking when I was watching it. One thing that did make me smile, and this is one of the positive things. Of course, we knew that in Toy Story 3, Bo Peep was sold. Now, what this does is tie that loose end, basically. What happened when Bo got sold, and how did she got sold? Well, it turns out that Woody and the others begin to rescue a lost toy. Now, this made me smile. RC Car was back. I mean, because RC, if you think about it.
Yeah, so well, going back, do you think Pixar have got a lot of problems like what we've seen in recent weeks with ITV and other film and media companies? There's a lot in the news at the moment.
I think Pixar, it is going through.
At least they didn't go around firing their actors and voice actors.
Yes. Pixar is just going through a lot of change, but it's stabilizing because, of course, John Lasseter went, then Edwin Cutbull, co-founder, he announced his retirement. Lee Unkrich, this was really out of the blue. I could have never guessed that but he announced his departure on Twitter, and that was really out of the blue. I could not have seen that coming.
Yes.
And of course, when you think about in addition to that, with Joe Ranft's passing, that's the original guards nearly gone. I mean, there's only Pete Docter.
Joe Ranft got drunk and was it drunk or forced off the road?
Well, I don't know if he was drunk, but anyway, no, that's not
But he was killed in a car accident.
Yes, but that's not the point. The point is that the original guard at Pixar are pretty much, I mean, you've got Pete Docter, you've got Andrew Stanton, but they're the only two left because Leon Critch is gone, John Lasseter is gone, Joe Ranft obviously is gone, Edwin Cutbull is gone. So, and Steve Jobs, even though Steve didn't really have any creative aspects in Pixar, of course, was an important person.
Yeah, but Steve, yeah.
So, yeah, obviously Pixar's going through a lot of change, but I think Josh could really become a standout.
Do you think he directed a good movie, or do you think he dealt with everything?
I think
He did the best job of what he was given, though it wasn't a great movie.
No, thinking about it, it wasn't a great movie. I think he did a good job considering the circumstances. And
I was reading in the paper, he did very well to basically keep everyone in the dark as to what was going on with.
Yes, he was.
That's good leadership, basically not letting anyone know.
Yes, and I watched, and this is what I watched before I actually went to watch the film. I watched some of the recording sessions on YouTube and thought of him. He's a really good director. He really knows what he's doing, of course, and yeah. And
I believe he was J.J. Abrams' second unit director on Into Darkness, so he knew.
Josh Cooley. Well, it doesn't say here, but he was recruited by Joe Ranth at Pixar. So, and he started as a storyboard artist on The Incredibles. That's like watching paint dry for me.
It's a good action movie.
Oh, The Incredibles. Oh, it just made me go to sleep. And of course,
Anyway, Will.
yeah.
I'm gonna have my tablet, so I'm gonna go in a bit. Can we just say, Toy Story 4 wasn't great, but there's going to be other great movies coming up, like Star Wars. Over the summer, we've got Stairs, that Commando movie.
I've not heard about that, but of course I got thoughts about it.
Shane Ward's first big screen debut after leaving Corrie, so that's great. A big action movie that he's in. It's basically focusing on the siege on the Iranian embassy in 1988. Based on a true story, Will.
Oh, okay. Now, Max, I thought we were going to be doing this until 6, right?
No, Will, I'm going to have my tablets now.
Well, okay. Why don't you have my tablets? I'll stay and then come back and then finish at 6. Okay.
Dad?
Right, so Max is just having his tablets. So while he's doing that, I'm going to try and get Football Manager 2019. Yeah.
My dad's coming. And what? So, yeah. So what? How would you rate Toy Story 4? I'd give it a 3.
Kids would enjoy it.
I'm giving it a 3. It's not a great family picture.
It's still funny. It's still funny. Like the other Toy Story films are. I don't know. I think, but for me, it was just like all the other Toy Stories blended together to try and make something.
Dad? Slow. I've got you on the phone on Skype in live stream. This is why I need camera.
Oh, he makes me laugh. So I'm gonna try and get Football Manager 2019.
Well, it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. So, wait, are you getting your tablets, are you?
Yes, my dad's down now.
Oh, okay. Yes. So, yeah, seeing RC made me smile because if you think about it, RC actually has an important role in Toy Story. I mean, without RC, Woody and Buzz would have never got in the moving van. Woody and Buzz would never have got back to Andy. Without RC, they would have not got out of Sid's house. RC is a really important character, and actually, RC knocks Buzz out the window for Woody to find Buzz. So, really, RC is one of the most important characters. He may not talk, but I actually think that he is one of the Toy Story franchise most important characters. So yeah, I think that. See, obviously, it made me smile seeing RC, and no doubt his electronics would have been damaged because he was stuck in the rain, basically. Oh, and that's one thing I have to praise: Pixar's animation. The rain was really realistic. In fact, the trees were really realistic. Their animation has really gone a step further. I mean, no one could have imagined in 1995, rendering backgrounds so realistic like that. But they they did, and it's absolutely brilliant. So the animation is one positive, and of course, tying up the loose end with Bo Peep is also another positive. Now, I'm going to talk about the music, and I have to praise Josh Cooley. He hired composer Randy Newman to return because he can't imagine making a fourth one without Randy Newman. Well, I couldn't either because Randy Newman is the voice of Toy Story. I mean, if you think about it, you know, although he might not have sung all of the songs, he did sing any in Toy Story 2, which seemed a bit strange, I thought. But of course, well, You've Got a Friend in Me, he wrote When She Loved Me, Woody's Roundup, Strange Things, I Will Go Sailing No More, We Belong Together, which is a great song as well. So it came back to write two new songs. One of them he performs himself, called I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away. Now that basically that plays over a montage of Woody trying to stop Forky putting himself in the trash, basically, because Forky doesn't think he's a toy, he's trash. And it's a really funny sequence, which I really did enjoy. And actually, I do have to praise Tony Hale for one of being the standout cast members for his performance as Forky, because he was really hilarious. I still don't like Forky, but you couldn't really get away because Forky was kind of the main purpose of Toy Story 4. Yeah, and then we get.
The first trailer is like, well, where Woody says, we have a new friend.
Yes. So we do hear the original version of You've Got a Friend in Me from the original Toys, the 1995 film that plays over the opening, and that also has nods because the way Bonnie moves on the swing and then ducks away and then you see the logo, it just made me immediately smile.
Will, what was the ending, by the way?
What was the ending? Well, it was basically Woody deciding to stay with Bo, thinking that being a lost toy, which Woody has always had the fear of, is not that bad after all, because he can help give other lost toys to humans, basically. So I kind of think that was a good end, and it was a good way to not repeat itself, because like I said, if Woody and Bo had gone back to Bonnie, it would have just been the same again. So I have to praise them for being very bold in that. And the other new song that Randy Newman wrote for the film is called The Ballad of the Lonesome Cowboy, which is a lovely Western country ballad. Now, I don't like country, but this is a perfect song, basically saying that Woody, he's a lonesome cowboy, but he's not, because he's got all of his friends, and they basically changed the way he is, which is an absolutely brilliant. That is a brilliant song, and country singer Chris Stapleton sings it at the closing credits, but Randy Newman does do a version for the soundtrack. One thing that I would have recommended actually would putting that version by Newman into the film, because that would have been perfect. You would have had the Ballad of the Lonesome Cowboy, the Randy Newman version in the film, and then you would have had the end title version by Chris Stapleton. It would have made sense. But it just seems like it's randomly sort of put there without having a... usually you have a song at the credits as a reprise, but it just seemed out in the open, really. I would have put the Ballad of the Lonesome Cowboy, the Randy Newman version, in the film, and I would have had a montage of when Woody falls out with Bo. He has this argument with saying, "Look, it's called loyalty. A lost toy wouldn't understand that." That would have been the perfect montage. So you would have seen Woody sad, maybe more flashbacks to Andy and Bonnie, and then you would have had Bo looking sad, sort of a bit montage of that. I would have put that in, and I think that would have worked really well. But yeah, it's it's a good song. My favorite though is "I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away" because it's very jazzy. It's a great song. It's a funny song, because about the times that Woody, poor Woody, he's exhausted trying to take Forky because Forky keeps jumping into the bin. So every time that he jumps into the bin, Woody's literally trying to have to drag him out. It's a really funny scene, and it's a great song that also makes light, I can't let you do this to yourself, basically. So it has an important message, but only Randy Newman could do it, a light song. And like I said, Josh Cooley said that he hired Randy Newman because he can't imagine making a fourth one. Well, that's the reason. If they do ever make a Toy Story 5, Randy Newman is 75 now. If they do ever make one, he will be much older. We don't even know if they do make a Toy Story 5 whether he would be either in good health or so yeah, which is why another reason why I think Toy Story 4, because he's getting on a bit, obviously. So are the cast and the ending they did. So I think that there's loads of reasons why Toy Story 4 should be the last one. That's my message to you, Pixar. Don't make another one. Finish there, which I've never had before, because when I went to see it back in 2010, Toy Story 3, I was like, come on, I want more with Woody and Buzz and all the other toys, they moved to Bonnie. I want Toy Story 4 now. That was what it was especially like in the...
It takes 8 years of bickering and...
Yeah, and
yeah, they were going to do it now. But it takes 8 years and nearly a decade's worth of bickering to...
Well, yes, but now I kind of feel that we didn't need Toy Story 4. I mean, it's still entertaining, but...
Basically, 8 years worth of what? Committee...
Well, 8 years of, sort of going in and out of production.
And this is a film, and as we know, committee stuff.
Yeah.
People being told not to say anything. This is the consequences.
Well, yes. I definitely think, please, Pixar, do not make a Toy Story 5 because you've made it very hard for yourself to even find a story about how they get back together again, and don't even think about making a film which has Woody without Buzz or Buzz without Woody.
Do you think Pixar are already planning for Toy Story 5?
If so, I'm going to need a very strong tranquilizer dart, I think. Because you can't have a Toy Story film without Woody. You can't have a Toy Story film without Buzz.
Yeah, but obviously it takes a long time to make a film, but 8 years?
Well, yes, but the film, it's been in it.
Toy Story 3 was over a decade after.
Yes, over a decade.
But how long have they been planning Toy Story 3? 2 years, not.
Well, no, actually, Toy Story 3 was first announced in 2006. No, 2007, actually.
6 years. But at least it was a great deal of planning, preparation.
Yes, well, yes, but Marcus, Toy Story 3 didn't have the script changes. It didn't have the director changes.
That's what I mean.
Look, no one could have predicted this, right? I don't think Pixar could have. Instead, we've had all this happen, and yeah.
Well, at least there's better films coming up, like Stairs, that Commando movie based on a true story in Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, which again has, they've had a change of director because J.J. Abrams is coming back, and
yes, and it looks like he's come up with another great.
Yes, well.
Although, Will, the future of the Star Trek franchise looks in very bad health after reports of Alex Kurtzman being fired.
Beyond. Beyond was garbage anyway, so I'm quite happy for them not to make another film.
But no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Alex Kurtzman. Kurtzman's apparently been fired from Paramount.
Oh dear.
This is the problem that Trek's having, Pixar's having. You cannot.
Oh no, you can't compare what's happened to Pixar to Alex Kurtzman if that it does turn out to be true.
What I'm saying is, you cannot prepare to change things.
Yeah.
Consistently. In sport, if you get in, this is a problem that everyone seems to have when they're fighting winners. You have to be consistent day after day because otherwise people, every decision is made by committee, and I think no. Like I said with the future ITV video, a live stream that we did a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
When you have decisions made by committee, you get all sorts.
Yeah.
You have to be blunt.
Oh well, yes, of course you do.
You have to be like, right, that's it, that's the decision, and you have to make it there, and then, rather than wait for months.
Well, yes, of course.
I'm going back to what.
And also another thing.
You're not gonna make sure you don't cover it up either.
Well, yes.
Because otherwise, you could have rumors spilling for months, years.
Well, yes. And another thing that annoyed me about Toy Story 4, okay, the joke was clever the first time. Basically, Buzz and Woody joke about the inner consciousness, because Woody obviously has the pull string that makes him talk, and Buzz has he presses his buttons. But, okay, the joke was funny the first time round, but the joke kept getting repeated again. It was like beating it to death. It was like, okay, Pixar, yes, it was funny. Stop the joke now.
Yeah. Anyway, should we stop there because I'm kind of want to have a drink.
I'll just go through a few points of what I would change. First of all, what I would change is I would give the rest of what were Andy's toys, bigger roles. Slinky, Ham, Rex, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, and Jessie, obviously. I would give them much bigger roles. Well, in fact, what I would do is as soon as Buzz goes out, I'd have a scene with them in the RV, and then they'd go to rescue Buzz. Then they and Buzz would head to the antique store to try help rescue Woody. And I think that really could have worked and kept the characters to make them feel important. Also, I do think that when Bonnie gave Jessie Woody's badge and Woody giving Jessie his badge, was that sign for political correctness? I mean, to have female roles?
Well, we know what sport, when it comes to political correctness, we know how tough sport get on it. So should movies do the same?
Well, I mean, I'm not coming in to make a political point, but
because basically when it comes to sport, any political slogan, whether it's on a football pitch, athletics pitch, motor racing, there are certain rules that you are not allowed to do.
Well, yeah, but I thought people may not think this, but I thought when Woody gave Jessie his badge, it was like saying that she was the lead, basically, and
she's now been promoted, isn't it?
Yes.
In an military turn.
Well, yes. So I thought that was maybe something to do with the new PC world, but again, I don't have a problem with that. Also, what I would have was Andy to make a cameo in this. I mean, obviously he does as a young boy, but what I really would have liked is Woody and Bo to fight, and Andy just to come round saying, I thought I saw something move there, and just go, and then go, because I mean, I never realized it at the time, but Sid, Pixar very cleverly had him in Toy Story 3 as the bin man. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I think it was you that said to me, Marcus, that it was Sid. And I said, "Oh, of course." And I saw his T-shirt, and yeah. So what I would have wanted is Andy to maybe, have a girlfriend, go around and say, "I thought I saw something moved," and then Woody thinks Andy, but not say anything. That would have been just a really nice moment.
I'm thirsty, so we're gonna stop there now, Will.
Okay, yes, I think I said all that I have. Yeah, Toy Story 4. If you want to go see it, I would recommend it because it is funny, but do be prepared that it uses the same themes of the Toy Story films, like the collector's items, like Toy Story 2 and Buzz, and Forky not liking this a toy, and Buzz. One thing that I also didn't like, so they made Buzz look like he was completely dumb, in a voice. I mean, the joke was funny.
Yes, we did. Anyway.
Yeah, because the joke was funny first time about what should I do in a voice, but they bashed it to death. And yeah. Okay, anyway, guys, if you want to, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I shall see you soon. Hopefully do Football Manager 2019, and hopefully start my track.
Can we just say to the viewers there's going to be a few changes because Google...
Oh, yes. 1st of August, Google Hangouts on Air is being discontinued, so I'm going to have to find another way. We will do streams. I'll be determined to find a way. We'll just have to...
I need your dad's help.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see. Anyway, I'll try and get Football Manager 2019 sorted, and I'll try...
But before 1st of August, there'll be a lot of stuff going on because you break up from college, so there'll be a lot more content around the middle of July.
Well, yes, and I'll try to do a transfer show as well. So yeah, there's lots of good things to come with the channel, and I'll try and get Football Manager 2019 done. Anyway, guys, if you want to, like, share, comment, and subscribe to the Lightningboy YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.